What is going on, you guys? Welcome to today's video. Our first order of business for today, we need to get the transmission pulled out of the good old V5. Once that's out and set out of the way, we're gonna push this car completely out of the garage, get it out of the way, so we have a clear shot to get that 1.8 out of here. It was supposed to leave yesterday, didn't have time, but as we kicked, I wasn't ready at all. So the guy's coming in about an hour or so I need to clear a path, get this fully out of my way so we can get that thing gone. So for the trans, we just have the one trans mount on this side that goes to the frame rail, and we have the 3 bolts that connect the diff to the actual drive shaft itself, and the entire thing should come off. And then later this week, this entire car will go back to the junkyard where we can put on a lift and I can finish pulling out the exhaust, the shifter box, the rear subframe for the 4Motion swap, all that kind of stuff. But for now, I still need it to roll. That way when the flatbed comes, it can just roll right on there. I was gonna pull out all the pieces here, but then I have a car that can't move and we have to like drag it around, and it's just a headache. So the car will stay as is, trans will come out, and then later this week we'll get everything else out of the car, hopefully. I pray these bolts are having a good day today, because last time I tried, the ones on the backside did not want to budge. So fingers crossed today, it's a very easy process. Pop those free and this whole thing's out of here in no time. Check it out, check it out. That's what I'm talking about. Yes, yes, good progress. 2 to go. And number 2 is out. 1 to go. I'm actually gonna have to spin some of these bolts back in so I can rotate the drive shaft. Back when I was first trying to pull this off, I wasn't sure quite how this came apart, so I was pulling these ones off, which was the wrong ones. But it's so much easier to work on this now with the engine being out of the way, but before with the exhaust being here and everything else, it's super awkward to actually get down to this and get like a good grip on it. But now it's much easier. All right, third and final bolt is now out of the way. So now we just have to do this mount here. The one on the bottom, the 216s are already out of the way. I'm gonna use a jack and a piece of wood to support it, and then we'll kind of just scoot the entire thing back out of there. But one more, and she's out. Actually, I almost missed this hydraulic clutch line. So that's gonna come off first, because I want this to fall and have it get snapped. So this will come off, and then this, and then it's good. I'm gonna do one last once over. The power steering line just goes over it. That's not connected. These little lines aren't connected. Yeah, so it's just gonna be this clutch line, and then we're good. Hydraulic line is now off. I gotta say, I really like how the Mark IVs have like these quick disconnect little tabs. You just pop the pin up and the whole thing just pops out. Same with like their coolant hoses. You have all these little pins that you just pop up and the whole thing comes off. Very nicely done. Both of our bolts here, 1 and 2 are off. So now it's just still connected there, which all the bolts are out. I should be able to just slide the entire thing forward, pop it free from that, and the entire thing should be out. It's just resting on this bottom one, but nothing has it bolted in, so it should be able to come out. So our drive shaft came off, no problem. So this is all disconnected back here. I couldn't figure out why this mount was coming off. There's actually a 3rd bolt way in the back side down here. I guess I could have just done these 2. I want to have the entire mount just come off the trans, but there's one more back there, and then it should drop. I couldn't figure out why it wasn't moving, but there's a sneaky 3rd bolt back there. Bam! One hefty trans now out, and surprisingly enough, I didn't drop it at all. I was able to just use the jack, slide it back, and then lower it down, so no damage was done, but she's out. So with this now out of the way, I haven't heard back from the guy just yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and pull the axles off while I wait, and a couple other things here and there. And it sounds like it's about to start storming. I've been hearing a lot of thunder, so let me see how it's looking out here. It's a little dark. So I need to find a way to go through the wiring. I still have the power cable for the battery terminal somewhere in here. This one, and then I have to find the ground and get that hooked up again, so I can put some power to the car and roll the windows up. Because even though it's going back to the junkyard, I don't want it to get flooded while I wait. So I need to close those, and then hopefully after that's done, I'll hear back from the guy and I can push this out of the way, and we can get the little Demon 1.8 out of here finally. Axle number 1 is out, and these things, these 4Motion axles, these are quite hefty. Give her a nice little tap. There it is. Axle number 2. Bam! Out of the way. So like I said, I was gonna try and hook up a battery and get some power to the car just so I can roll up the windows, but I forgot I had yanked out like everything possible. Can't really see it, but like I undid like 90% of the wires into the dash when I didn't know what I was doing. So to get power to the actual car, I have to plug back in half that stuff, and I just don't feel like it. So I'll probably just throw a tarp over this side of the car, or just pull the seats and just let the floor get wet. Not that big a deal. So he said he's on his way now. We're gonna go ahead and pull this out of the garage and move the TDI first, probably to that side, and then she's leaving. She's back on the ground for the first time, and I don't even know how long, but She's gonna be getting out of here soon. She served us well. We got a nice V5, we have a nice 4Motion trans, all that kind of cool stuff, and plenty more to still pull off this car, so she served us well. Another update on the TDI for you guys. It's going to inspection this week, either Thursday or Friday, I wanna say. It should pass no problem. I've already gone over the car. It shouldn't be an issue, but this thing should be plated, insured, and on the road this week, which would be sick. The good old V5 is officially ready to leave the barn finally. I have to try and maneuver the car over just a little bit because you can see it's pretty close to this side of the garage where the door opens up. When I drove it in, I put it as far this way as I possibly could. But now I need to be just a little bit that way so I don't destroy the side of the car as it goes out. I'm also gonna put some like stops back there to catch the car just in case I lose it. We don't want it to go running into the house because that would be no fun. I'm hoping the car is a bit more manageable to move since the engine and trans are out of the car. It is still a 4Motion car, so it has some weight, but it should be a lot more manageable this time. Even though the engine's out, the trans is out, the back seats are out, this car is so heavy and pushing over all these, like, it's hard to tell on camera, but the driveway does like this. There's giant dips and all that's giant like bumps, and it's such a pain, but we got her. So this is where this car will sit until the flatbed comes to pick her up. I'm gonna pull a few more things off the car while it's at the house. I'll probably try and get, the seats will come out. I was debating on pulling the dash, but I don't know if I need it or not. Oh, we'll see. Might pull the dash of it, we'll see. The shift knob will come out, the steering wheel will come out, the rear bumper, and a few of the pieces like that, and the rest of the stuff, the drivetrain stuff, will come off once we're at the junkyard. But at least it is out of my way, and now we have a straight shot to the 1.8, and I'll also be putting the TDI over here for the time being as well. So now our next step is gonna be, I've already moved the V5 over just a little bit. I have the 1.8 up on the hoist now. I'm gonna drag this all the way to over there, and then once he gets here, he has a van, I believe. I'm gonna have him just back right up to the door here, and we'll throw it in, and it'll be gone forever. A bit of a lengthy process, but we got her. The guy said he can't come until a little bit later tonight, which is fine. It'll be here, ready to go. The airbox, the shifter, it's all good and ready to leave. I appreciate the barn. I'm very thankful and blessed to have this space like store cars. But to move anything on this floor is such an absolute hassle. I cannot wait to the day that we can have our own shop and I can have the smoothest concrete known to man and just make everything so much easier. So for the longest time now, the R32 has had this super obnoxious squeak somewhere back here. We pulled off the door card to see if anything was like loose, but everything looks to be in place. So I'm gonna sit in the back while she drives and just see if I can't figure out what. It's like the most obnoxious sound. We've taken forever to actually look into this, but like, it's really obnoxious. So I think it's somewhere in the door card. It sounds like it is, but everything looks to be tight and in place. So
oh, okay.
You don't need that. That wouldn't make that sound. It's like it's like a plastic squeaking sound. I don't know. It's obnoxious, so we're trying to figure it out today. I don't think I've ever ridden in the back of this car, let alone just even sat back here. Grab that one.
Oh, do you want me to close that?
No, I got it. That's not. Oh.
Do you want to close it?
Yeah, I have no door handle. I have. Thanks. Thanks. All right.
Excuse me. Sit down.
Hey, I'm working back here.
Get in the car.
Oh my god.
Get in the car. Don't mind me. Don't mind me. You're kind of thick. I can't get this off. You feel safe?
I feel super safe. Thanks. 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 I already kind of hear it. So we know it's not your door card.
I'm gonna hit the bumps.
Oh, she's getting flung up. Yeah, hit some bumps for me, please. I don't know if you guys can hear it on camera, but it's this little squeak sound. What is that coming from? Oh, I can hear it. It's annoying.
Do you think it's the door hinge at all? Or like the little lock piece, you know? That little like
it sounds like it's like almost behind this panel.
Oh, but if you take that panel out, don't you have to like reseal it? Because it's like...
Probably, yeah. But it sounds like it's almost behind that. Hold on. So I can hear it's right here, but it sounds like it's almost behind this panel. Let me listen again here. Yeah, I think it's behind this, to be honest with you. Oh, it's such an annoying squeaky sound. I hope it comes up on camera. You guys can hear it because it's really annoying. But I think it's behind this. But we can reseal that. We have to figure out what kind of stuff it is.
Yeah. I'm saying, do you have any seal at home?
I have some Sikaflex stuff that will definitely seal this up. Yeah, it's something. I don't know. It's really obnoxious though.
It is that side of that door.
Yeah, it's right here.
Oh, that's good.
Gosh, it's an annoying sound. So one thing I noticed when we were driving, I opened the door as we were moving, and with this not inside like the door jamb here, not moving with the rest of the car as much, you didn't hear it near as much as before. So it's definitely something behind this panel here. We'll have to just reseal it afterwards, but we're gonna pull all these 10s, I believe, off and to see what is making these super obnoxious sound. All right, so one last test before we pull this panel completely off. I'm gonna have her roll the window down like halfway. I think it might actually be the window track that's making the squeak sound. So when this is down, it kind of like tightens it up. I'm gonna see if it's still, that should be good. I'm gonna see if it still makes the squeak sound. Yeah, I still hear it. What are you? Such an obnoxious sound. So yeah, we'll have to pull this off and see what's going on back there. I think it might be the window track, but even with it down, here, roll your window all the way down real fast. So yeah, even with the window all the way down, it's still squeaking. So I swear the sound's coming from this door here, but I had her drive back and forth in the driveway, and I like laid flat in the car and had my head like way down here. It might be where this rear like that control arm or so goes to the body where the bushing is. So I'm gonna get some WD-40 and spray that down. It might be that's squeaking. It's just so hard to tell where it's coming from, and we only hear the noise going forwards. You don't hear it all going in reverse. So I don't know, it's frustrating. It's so hard to chase down squeak sometimes. So I just went through, I had the car jacked up and the wheel off, and I went through and just WD-40 every bushing. So the control arm here that goes to the top, like mounts up in the body here, WD-40 that, and literally every bushing I could see got sprayed. So let's see if that makes any type of difference. I didn't hear it that time. Maybe it was that. Let me go ahead and make sure this wheel's all the way torqued down, and then we can go for a drive. It may have been that bushing going to that. I could have sworn it was this, but maybe it wasn't. Maybe we fixed it. Moment of truth. I don't think I hear anything.
Get all the bumps on. It should definitely squeak here.
Oh, no more squeak. Thank goodness. Man, I could have sworn, watching the video back, I could have sworn that sound was like directly right here, but it turned out, I think it was that control arm bushing that goes like right under here, but I could have sworn it was there. But hey, whew, easy fix, WD-40, and it's good to go. Eventually we're gonna go through and swap all those bushing out with new ones, but for the time being, No more squeak. Man, that was obnoxious and it was so loud I couldn't figure out what it was, and thank goodness it's over. And, just now it's just VR6 sounds. No more annoying squeak. So much nicer. Look at the scooter gang. Riding like 15 deep. So much nicer riding this car now.
Yeah, really.
There's a bunch of bumps up here. This would be our final test. All these in the road. Oh, it's so quiet. You know, thinking about it now, I have a squeak in the back of my car that's similar to what yours sounded like, and I'm pretty sure I need to go spray. I probably just need new rear beam bushings anyways, but for now, I need to spray them down so they just, no more squeak. I fixed my hanging little connector piece of my doors in the back, but I think the other squeak is definitely my rear beam bushing squeaking. Oh, it's so quiet now. It's so much nicer. So I decided since I can't put a battery on this car and get these to roll up electronically, I'm just gonna pull this off, and I should be able to just lift this up since it won't be holding it in place anymore. And once I have it up, put this back in to hold it. But I noticed when I'm pulling this apart, this car had subs at one point, but I never had to hear the radio because the radio's always been gone. But it's got nice little Kenwood door speakers and these little rainbow something tweeters, crossover tweeters for the Golf 4 plug and play. So there's these ones up here. You can see that, right? And there, so I'm gonna go ahead and snag these for my wagon. So Kenwood door speakers and some rainbow tweeters for this little plug and play thing. And I'm gonna see what they have in the back. I might have the same thing, which is pretty cool. So good news, we have Kenwoods in the back as well. I was surprised that this car has a little speaker vent for a tweeter, but no actual speaker there, whereas my wagon had the speaker, which is cool. It's kind of surprising because this car is a V5 4Motion. It's kind of like I would say a pretty top tier model, and it has no actual tweeters, which is kind of, it's a small thing, but it's kind of weird to see which ones they put tweeters in and which ones they didn't. Got the windows up, so now if it rains, the inside won't be completely destroyed. And then over here is my nice little score out of my own car. So we have Kenwood speakers for the front with all the plugins, rainbow little door tweeters for the front, and then speakers and wiring for the rear. I grabbed, these are keys to pull your radio out. Got some razors, some money, little aux cord, and then I grabbed all of the window regulators for all the windows, which all the ones in this car did work, and all of our cars work now, but if any of them break, we have some backups. And I also snagged the 4Motion shift knob. There's still more stuff to pull out of this car. I mean, there's still a whole bunch of wiring that I want to pull out just to have for whatever reason, and a few more things, but for now, we're gonna call it a day. That is it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'll update you guys tomorrow whether this guy shows up for the engine or not, which he should. But just fingers crossed he takes it because I want it to leave my house. Do not forget, be thankful for every single day. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.